Okay, so this episode we're going to do the video background and some of like the visual effects that are unique. So we're going to have a gradient on the outside. We'll set the video to the background and we'll have like a little film grain effect on top. And how we're going to achieve this simply is for the gradients, we'll just use an SVG and we're going to make our menu a world canvas, but kind of set the camera to be fixed so that we can take advantage of the Unity global volume post-processing instead of having to worry about custom shaders. So first we're just going to set up our video player. So now this is very finicky, and I think it's just due to the Unity version I'm on, but sometimes the video just doesn't play. But anyways, add your video player to the scene, and we'll see we have our world orb background. And then what we want to do is go to art and create a render texture. So I'll delete that one. I'll go to create, rendering, render texture, and you can just call it video. And you want to set the parameters to be 1920 by 1080 since that's the default size we're going with. And then in our video player, in render mode, render texture, you want to reference this. Let's say video, audio mode, we'll select none and fit horizontally. And we'll untick skip on drop and wait for first frame, and we'll tick loop and play on awake. So now we have that done. We're going to create our volume. So go to volume, global volume, don't need to name it. You can just select new, add override, post-processing, vignette, tick center, color, intensity, smoothness. Intensity can just be like something subtle like here. Smoothness will crank up a bit, let's say 0.8. That's fine for now. The design aspects in this tutorial you can tweak yourself. I actually have the full thing finished on my GitHub, and I'll start linking it in the description if you want to look ahead at the final product. But for now, we'll just add a film grain to get some nice simple effects. We'll just make it like medium 1 or something. That's a bit too strong. And then just take it out like that. So now already we have a bit of gradient, although we really want to replicate our references. So you'll see here, it's kind of like pitch black down here, but it kind of fades in. And the same in the background, there's like a gradient, kind of like here. The video itself is already pretty dark, but you kind of notice it around the edges here on top of the menu, where it's kind of darker there. So we'll go back to Unity. Here we go. That's actually a bit strong. I'll just make it thin. All right. So now we have our volume set up and our video layer. I'll just quickly show you the camera to get this to work. Set it to orthographic, which means it's kind of like the flat square. And you can kind of just line up the size. So you'll see here I have it at 5.3, and that pretty much covers the full screen. So now go to our layout. We'll say views, layout view. And we want to go here, and we're going to add a visual element at the top and call it video background. And inside of here, we have an absolute fill class. And what does this do? It changes the position mode to absolute, and then set the width and height to 100%. Add that to our video background. So now it is on top of it, or sorry, it is behind everything. And then inside a video background, you want to set the background to be down here. We'll select, change the type to render texture, and then select video. And now the image tint, we'll make it kind of like the same murky green as the menu. Just something subtle like that, just to tint it a bit. And here is the problem I was explaining, like the video sometimes doesn't play at all, and sometimes it's on the preview. But we'll press play in a second and hopefully it shows up, but it's kind of random at the moment, unfortunately. But we have our video set up there. Now we want to do a quick vignette. And to do this, we're just going to put 2 visual elements in our container here. And I'll just call this left vignette. And we're going to set its height to 100. And we'll set its maximum width to just something like, let's say 25%. And then in here, we want to go down to our background, change this to a vector, select linear fade out and change the color to just pure black. There we go. And I wonder if I kind of like for this, you could do a vignette as well on top, but we want to try to see if the global volume can take care of that. So we're actually going to put the vignette underneath just to kind of dampen out the video and help the buttons stand out more. So we have our left vignette and we're just going to Control D, duplicate that. First, we actually want to fix our rows. So this is going to be a row and it's going to stretch and I believe space between. Here we go. So one's on the left, one's on the right. We'll name this right, right vignette. And we want to flip it around, which I believe is done somewhere here. So like -1. No. There we go. Change like the x-axis to -1. And we want to make the right a bit stronger so it pushes inwards. So let's just say the right is like 35%. And then we want to not make them jet black, but we'll make it like, let's just say 240. And make the right one, the image tint to 240 as well. So there we go. There we've got our background. So now we have it kind of set up here. We'll press play and hopefully the video will appear. It does not. So what I'm going to do is quickly toggle this on and off. And there we go. Now it plays. So now we have our background sorted. Like I was saying, it's kind of just a bug, I think, in this version. But if you're having that, you can just turn it on and off and it will fix itself. So there we go. That's our video player, our vignette on top. We want to set our camera to have post-processing. We can kind of make it stronger, I suppose. Like you can tweak the vignette yourself. We'll do a video where we clean up the styling. But yeah, there we go. So that is our background. And so yeah, so there we go. We have our video background and some effects on top. Next video, we're going to we're going to separate out the view. So right now it's kind of just built into UI Toolkit, this main container. So we're going to separate it out into its own class and kind of go from there.